Hello and welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to dynamically create this inflating cloth sculpture inside Cinema 4D. First we want to grab a sphere, change the segments to 150, the type to hexahedron, and turn off render perfect. Then we want to grab a Voronoi fracture and put our sphere inside the fracture. Then we want to offset our fragments by 0.001, so there's a little bit of a gap between our different pieces. We want to invert that, go hull only and hollow object, and you should see just a bunch of lines like this. Then you select our little fracture source here and change the point amount to 25. Now we want to grab a atom array, put our Voronoi fracture inside the array, and then change our cylinder radius to 5. Then we want to grab a volume builder and a volume mesher, put the array inside the builder and the builder inside the mesher, and disable the mesher for now. With our volume builder selected, we want to create a smooth layer and a reshape layer. Just put the reshape layer at the bottom and select our smooth layer and change the voxel distance to 4 and the iterations to 2. And then we just want to change our voxel size to 0.5 and just wait for a little while. There we go. That looks pretty cool. Now we can enable our volume mesher. Now if we select our Voronoi fracture again and copy and paste, let's go to the offset fragments here, change that to 2 and disable invert. Then we need to right click on our fracture again and go current state to object and delete that fracture. So now we should have all these fragments. So if we select the group all the way down to the bottom here and go right click, connect objects and delete, we should have this just a single object. Then we want to go and grab a subdivision surface and put our object in there now. Select our subdivision surface and change the subdivisions render to 2. So let's just disable the subdivision for now and select our object and go right click, simulation tags, and create a cloth tag. Now if you press play, you'll notice it just falls straight down. Now we want our cloth to essentially stick to the edges of our frame here. And so if we disable the visibility on our mesher for a second, the fracture has provided us with these selection tags. So if you double click the second to last one, it'll select all the edges of our fracture, which is really nice. And then if you select our cloth tag, go to the dresser tab. At this fixed point option here, we want to set those points as fixed points. Now if you press play, you will notice that those are fixed and everything else is dynamic. Awesome. Now let's go to the Simulate tab, go to Particles and create an attractor. Then press play. You'll notice everything kind of gets attracted to the center. Now we want it to be pushed out, so if you change the strength to -1500, you'll notice it starts to inflate a little bit. Cool, now we can start working on our cloth tag to just make things look a bit better. And if you go to the Forces tab here and completely disable gravity, and increase the drag to 5%, and then go to the tag tab and change the stiffness to 75, the flexion to 75, change the mass to 3 and the size to 115. Now if you press play, it's starting to look a bit better. Now if you want to turn off these pink points here, if we go to the dresser menu and just turn off the draw option here, we won't see those anymore. Now if you go back to the first frame, enable the volume mesher so we see our cool little frame here, and enable the subdivision surface. Just going to go back to object mode and press play. And now we have a pretty epic looking cloth simulation.